The Art of Always Being Right is a book written by German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, first published in 1831. The book is a guide to the art of winning arguments and debates, and it offers a comprehensive collection of tactics and strategies that can be used to outmaneuver opponents. The book is divided into 38 chapters, each of which focuses on a specific tactic or strategy for winning arguments. Schopenhauer begins by discussing the importance of being right in an argument, and he then goes on to discuss the various ways in which people can be wrong. He argues that there are many different ways to win an argument, and that the most important thing is to be able to recognize and exploit your opponent's weaknesses. One of the key themes of the book is the idea that logic and reason are not always the most effective tools in an argument. Schopenhauer argues that emotions and psychological tactics can be just as effective, if not more so, in winning an argument. He discusses a variety of techniques for manipulating emotions, including ridicule, sarcasm, and irony, and he also explores the ways in which people can use body language and other nonverbal cues to influence their opponents. Another important theme of the book is the idea that people should always be prepared to concede a point when they are wrong. Schopenhauer argues that being willing to admit when you are wrong can actually make you more persuasive, since it shows that you are open-minded and rational. He also discusses the importance of using humor and wit in an argument, and he provides a number of examples of how these techniques can be used effectively. Throughout the book, Schopenhauer draws on a wide range of examples from history, literature, and everyday life to illustrate his points. He discusses famous debates and arguments, such as the trial of Socrates and the dispute between Galileo and the Catholic Church, and he also provides a number of hypothetical scenarios to demonstrate how his tactics and strategies can be applied in different situations. Overall, The Art of Always Being Right is a fascinating and insightful exploration of the art of argumentation. While some of the tactics and strategies outlined in the book may be controversial or even unethical, they are nonetheless valuable tools for anyone who wants to be more persuasive and effective in their arguments. Whether you are a seasoned debater or someone who simply wants to improve your communication skills, this book is definitely worth a read. Sure, I'd be happy to provide more detail about the book. Schopenhauer's book is based on the premise that people engage in arguments not only to find the truth, but also to win. According to him, the art of being right is not about finding the truth or being logical, but rather about using any means necessary to win an argument. Therefore, the book is primarily concerned with the tactics and strategies that people can use to gain the upper hand in an argument, even if they are in the wrong. One of the key tactics that Schopenhauer discusses is the use of fallacies. He argues that fallacies are an effective way to manipulate an opponent's thinking and to make them appear foolish. He provides examples of common fallacies such as ad hominem attacks, straw man arguments, and false analogies, and he explains how they can be used to win an argument. Another tactic that Schopenhauer discusses is the use of psychological warfare. He argues that people can use emotions, such as anger and fear, to gain an advantage in an argument. He also discusses the use of rhetorical devices, such as repetition and hyperbole, to sway an opponent's thinking. Schopenhauer also emphasizes the importance of preparation in an argument. He advises people to anticipate their opponent's arguments and to prepare counterarguments in advance. He also stresses the importance of having a clear understanding of one's own position and being able to express it clearly and convincingly. In addition to discussing tactics and strategies, Schopenhauer also provides practical advice on how to conduct oneself during an argument. He stresses the importance of maintaining composure and avoiding personal attacks. He also advises people to be gracious in victory and defeat. While some readers may find the tactics and strategies outlined in the book to be manipulative or unethical, Schopenhauer's writing is nonetheless insightful and thought-provoking. His book offers a unique perspective on the art of argumentation, and it provides readers with a valuable toolkit for engaging in debates and discussions. Certainly, here are a few additional points about the book. Schopenhauer's writing style is often witty and engaging, and he frequently uses examples from history, literature, and everyday life to illustrate his points. This makes the book both informative and entertaining to read. One of the most interesting aspects of the book is Schopenhauer's emphasis on the importance of knowing when to concede a point. He argues that being able to admit when you are wrong can actually strengthen your position in an argument, as it demonstrates that you are rational and open-minded. Schopenhauer also has some interesting insights into the psychology of argumentation. For example, he notes that people are often more swayed by emotional appeals than logical ones, and he provides strategies for appealing to people's emotions in order to win an argument. Some of the tactics that Schopenhauer discusses in the book, such as using fallacies or personal attacks, may be seen as unethical or manipulative by some readers. However, it is worth noting that he also stresses the importance of maintaining a sense of fair play and avoiding outright deception. While the book is primarily focused on the art of argumentation, Schopenhauer also touches on broader philosophical themes throughout. For example, he explores the role of truth in argumentation and the relationship between language and reality. Overall, The Art of Always Being Right is a fascinating and thought-provoking book that offers valuable insights into the art of argumentation. While some may disagree with Schopenhauer's tactics or find his style abrasive, there is no denying that his writing is both engaging and informative. Whether you are a seasoned debater or simply interested in improving your communication skills, this book is well worth reading. Schopenhauer discusses several emotional appeals that can be used to win an argument. Some examples include 1. Fear. One way to appeal to someone's emotions is to make them afraid. Schopenhauer suggests that this can be done by emphasizing the negative consequences of not accepting your position, or by invoking a sense of danger or risk. 2. Ridicule. Another emotional appeal that Schopenhauer discusses is ridicule. He suggests that making fun of an opponent or their argument can be an effective way to undermine their credibility and make them appear foolish. 3. Flattery. Schopenhauer notes that people are often susceptible to flattery, and that this can be used to win an argument. For example, praising your opponent's intelligence or expertise may make them more receptive to your argument. 4. Pity. Schopenhauer also suggests that appealing to someone's sense of pity or compassion can be an effective tactic. For example, if you are arguing for a particular policy or course of action, you might emphasize the positive impact it will have on vulnerable or disadvantaged groups. 5. Anger. Finally, Schopenhauer notes that anger can be a powerful emotional motivator. He suggests that making your opponent angry or frustrated can be an effective way to throw them off balance and gain the upper hand in an argument. It's worth noting that while emotional appeals can be effective in winning an argument, they can also be manipulative and unethical if used excessively or inappropriately. Schopenhauer stresses the importance of maintaining a sense of fairness and avoiding outright deception in an argument. Striking a balance between using emotional appeals effectively and avoiding manipulation in an argument can be challenging, but it is an important skill to develop. Here are a few tips for doing so. 1. Be honest. One of the most important things you can do is to be honest with yourself and your audience about your intentions. If you are using emotional appeals in order to manipulate your opponent or to win at all costs, this is likely to be transparent to your audience and will ultimately undermine your credibility. Instead, be honest about your goals and the reasons why you believe your argument is valid. 2. Use emotional appeals sparingly. Emotional appeals can be effective in winning an argument, but they should be used sparingly and in appropriate contexts. For example, appealing to someone's sense of compassion or empathy may be appropriate when discussing issues that affect vulnerable or disadvantaged populations, but it may not be appropriate in a purely logical or factual discussion. 3. Use evidence to support your emotional appeals. Whenever you use emotional appeals, it is important to back them up with evidence and facts. This not only makes your argument more persuasive, but it also demonstrates that you are not simply trying to manipulate your opponent's emotions. 4. Be respectful. Even when using emotional appeals, it is important to maintain a sense of respect and civility in an argument. Avoid personal attacks and ridicule, and focus on the merits of the argument rather than attacking your opponent's character or intelligence. 5. Consider your audience. Finally, it is important to consider your audience when using emotional appeals. Different people may respond differently to different types of appeals, so it is important to tailor your approach to your audience. For example, an emotional appeal that resonates with one person may fall flat with another. By following these tips, you can use emotional appeals effectively in an argument without resorting to manipulation or deception. Ultimately, the key is to approach arguments with a sense of fairness and respect for your opponent, and to focus on the merits of the argument rather than simply trying to win at all costs.